What's up guys, it's Jake from Team Insanity. I'm bringing you guys the Ego 11 review. Thank you to Brandon S. for letting us borrow this sexy X Factor Ego 11. And so now I'm doing the review. He let me borrow it. I used it, compared it with the E-Tech 5, all that cool stuff. This is the first official video with our new studio actually. We will give you behind the scenes tour of our studio. But so we have a few things to add, like we're going to get a nice tablecloth and everything that's white so it pops with the white background or the black background and everything. But so first things, the Ego 11, you get a shaft 4 barrel. I don't have the case with me, it's upstairs, but this isn't really an unboxing, but you get a nice hardcover case. So that's going to protect this gun. You get a just god-awfully amount of Allen keys and everything else in tools, as well as O-rings, that kind of stuff. You get lube, just all kinds of good stuff in that box, so there's not really much to go over. This has the dart kit in it, so I'm going to be reviewing the dart kit, even though I did get to shoot it once with the original bolt. And let me tell you that the dart kit does make a significant difference in terms of shot quality. It really did spice things up a little bit. So first things with the barrel, I'm just going to go just do the whole entire gun. Barrel, it's a 6.89 shaft barrel. If you guys know how I feel, the shaft barrels are not that amazing. They're not that great, but they're not that bad. I mean, it's for real, it's a stock barrel. The thing is that if you really want to step your barrel game up, all you really have to do is just get I suggest a 684 boomstick personally, but if you want a better barrel, just go ahead and get a smaller size bore barrel, because that way then you have the 689 barrel already for if you want to overbore and use a different bore for when you maybe go to a different tournament or something. If the paint fluctuates, then you have the shaft barrel. This isn't like say like a stock axe barrel or a stock E-Tech barrel where you don't really want to use it. This is definitely a pretty decent barrel, but it's not the best barrel is basically what I'm saying. But yeah, I like the barrels. I semi like the barrels that they put on their higher end guns, like their Egos and their Geos and that kind of stuff, and I don't want to cross thread it here. But next thing is, it has a nice LPR. Now if you guys don't know about the Ego 11 versus the E-Tech or the E-Tech 5 or the LV1 even, or versus the Ego 11, is that this LPR isn't integrated. So if you guys saw on the E-Techs or the LV1s, is that this LPR, there's no such thing as this thing sticking out. So that way you can wrap your thumb around the barrel a lot easier without this having get in the way or anything, with the LPR getting in the way, which is really cool that they did that on that gun. You don't get this on the Ego 11. Is it that big of a deal? I'll be honest, it's really not that big of a deal to me. I could wrap it the whole time. Now I have really small hands. It just kind of fit. It really wasn't that terribly bad, but I did notice. I mean, you notice it, but like I said, it's really not that awfully bad, to be real. It's not terribly bad, and it's not something that, oh, if you don't have the money for it, you don't have to be, well, I don't have the money and the integrated LPR and the Ego LV1, I have to get it. No, not really. You don't really have to get the Ego LV1 if you don't have the money and you want the integrated LPR. I mean, it's cool, but if it doesn't really mean, if you don't mind, if you don't really wrap your thumb around the barrel or anything like that, it's not really that big of a deal. I do, and I'm just saying I didn't really find it that massively that big of a deal, to be honest with you. I thought it kind of flowed really well. It has a nice regulator on it. I'll be honest, I kind of like this in the Geo 3, like how this grips and everything is how there's like no big fat grip on it, because I like to have a very slim profile on the regulators, like the G6Rs, actually any Bob Long gun, to be honest with you. The Luxes aren't that bad. The Vanquishes they're a little bit fatter than what I like in the front reg, or it's not really a reg, but it's the front grip. A little bit more than I really enjoy, I guess you can say, but it's not necessarily all that bad. But this, I definitely like the feel of this front regulator in terms of the ergonomics in the back. And Jacob hates it when I say that word, and he's hawk-eyeing me because I don't know, but the word is ergonomics, and I really do enjoy these ergonomics a lot. It's got a nice thin grip frame compared to, say, an E-Tech 4, even an E-Tech 5, or those kind of guns. It's not a Dye ultralight frame, but it's definitely not a thick Azotin frame or a Tippmann frame or anything like that. This is a very nice quality grip frame. It's nice and thin. It fits in my hands very well. Overall, it's a comfortable gun between, you know, holding it in terms of the regulator in the back of the frame. It just feels really, really nice. You can switch hands pretty easy, but if you're like me and you don't switch hands and you just shoot like this the whole time and stuff like that, then you don't really have to worry about that. But I'm just kidding. But it feels very, very nice. Has the best ASA in the frickin' world. Has the Pops ASA. So if you guys don't know what that is, then you guys must live underneath a rock, or you must be new to paintball and you don't know anything. A Pops ASA, that there's a little button thing right here, and you press it, it's degassed, and all you do to air it up is you take it and go bink, and you push it forward, and boom, it's aired up. So there's not really much that you really have to do to air this bad boy up. It's fairly simple. It's nothing that hard, and Plain Eclipse did very well with the Pops ASA. Trigger, Plain Eclipse doesn't have the best triggers in the world. I like my Dye trigger. I like the Bob Long triggers. The Lux trigger is alright if it's tuned correctly. Jacob's Lux trigger is actually pretty well. What other triggers? The Axe triggers and the Vanquish's triggers. Those triggers are like up here. The Eagle 11's like right down here. It's not the best, but it's definitely not the worst. Okay, it's not like a Dangerous Power FX trigger. Okay, it's not like that. It's not a bad trigger. Is what I'm saying. Is that it's definitely not an E-Tech trigger either, where it feels like it's plastic on plastic grinding together. It's not bad. You can definitely get on it and rip on it if you really wanted to. But if you're just playing PSP or whatever, then you'll be perfectly fine. It feels great. I've shot better, but I've definitely shot way worse. But overall, it's not that terribly bad of a trigger. Feed neck, I mean, it holds your hopper, let's be real. I mean, what is there really to say about the feed neck? It's a feed neck. It's perfectly fine. I mean, it holds your hopper. Not really much to say about a feed neck. It's a clamping feed neck. You don't need a tool for it, which is really cool. You take it and you spin it, which in this day and age, in 2011, you definitely needed that. Bolt comes right out, very easy. Just pull up on the little lever and you slide it right out. Just pull up, like I just did. And if you put it back in, I go over the whole maintenance of this in a second. Put it back in. Very, very easy bolt assembly. So if you break paint or something and it gets on the bolt, very easy to yank this thing out, wipe it down, jam a swab through here, an Exalt Barrelmate or a bomb swab or whatever you want to put through here. Then that'll work really, really well. So it's easy to field strip this bad boy. Very nice. It has a nice rammer, but like I said, this is a dart bolt. Very, very nice quality of rammers and everything that they have options available to you. Lastly, that I'm going to go into in this part, is that you get a nice board. You get probably, arguably, like the best board in the world right here on your gun. It's got a nice blue light up display. It's an OLED board. You have all your changing modes and everything. Basically things that you will never use other than just changing your gun and like maybe adjusting your dwell if you're into that kind of thing. That's all going to be there. I believe it has trigger trainer modes, to be honest. I haven't played with them if there is some. So I really don't know if there's actually trigger trainer modes. So if there is, that's cool, but I don't really know of any on this because I haven't really played with it. I have no use for it, like I said. Put it on 12.5 and I just play. That's why OLED boards aren't that big of a deal to me. It's just more of a convenience. Honestly, I don't really change my boards that much. But for say, if you're really into that kind of thing, you get the best board on the market. I mean, arguably, it's a really, really nice board. So now what we're going to do is I am going to bring the camera in a little bit, lay down some nice white towels, and I will end up doing the maintenance video on this, which is fairly simple. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you the basic maintenance that you're going to have to do on this thing. There's really not much. I'm not going to take this thing all the way down to the nitty gritty because I'm pretty sure this reg is sweet spotted from when I shot it. And damn, this thing is sexy on camera up close. This is sent in from Brandon S. I'll get a good focus of it in a second, but pull out the bolt. This is the dart bolt. He puts a little bit of oil on it, I could tell. You don't really have to, but since he did, I'll add a little bit of oil for him. I'll do it later. Actually, there's still a good amount of oil on there because I've only played with it once. In the time that I am doing this maintenance video. I'm actually doing this maintenance video before I do the review because it needs to be maintenance right meow. So I don't ever, I don't ever tighten the back caps down. Still a little bit of air in it, as you heard, just a wee bit. And I just take a small Allen wrench, I slip it down in there, try not to scratch the body, especially that it's not mine and it's a sexy gun. Pull out the zinc, or the rammer, the Z2. And yeah, that's all that I'm really gonna take out. That's all I really need to take out. And damn, this thing is still oiled down nice. Actually, this doesn't even need any maintenance. I'm surprised. But, so say you start leaking. If you start leaking down the barrel, replace this one first. This is the first O-ring that you're going to want to replace on the rammer. If you start leaking when it's shooting, or if you start busting O-rings or busting paint, anything like that, just replace these back two O-rings back here. There's also an internal O-ring over here. Probably not ever going to have to mess with that. But this is the Zinc 2 rammer kit. Pretty nice. This is all the maintenance that you're really going to have to do on your Ego 11. You're not going to have to take it down. That's why people like it so much, is that fucking works. I mean, you're seeing how short this maintenance video is going to be. It works. That's just put oil on it. You don't even have to put oil on the bolt if you really don't want to. And now one way to always test if it's in all the way is that you take it, you push it forward a little bit, and if it slides back, then you know it's in place. It's like that with all Egos. So, I don't want to take apart the LPR or anything, considering that it's not mine. I don't like taking guns apart when they're not mine, even though I do. But considering that this gun is pretty much sweet spotted, I don't want to take apart the reg and the LPR because I don't want to mess with any of the settings that he has set on it right now, because it's shooting like a dream. And I don't know if he has it set a certain way. I really didn't ask if I could take it apart. I mean, I kind of figured that it was just kind of given that I'd take it apart. But I'm not going to take this all the way down because it doesn't need it. When you start having problems, that's when you take it apart. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I don't take apart regs after every single day of play. There's no reason to take apart your reg after every single day of play. The reason why, I mean, it doesn't need it. You're just going to be doing a little bit more overkill because you're sort of messing up with the settings, I guess. You're just going to have to keep on resetting it. It's just not going to find that nice spot. It's not going to break in perfectly in that certain spot that you have it set in if you just keep on disrupting it. So I don't want to do that because it's working perfectly fine, so I won't. And just to give you a little bit more of a close-up, because it's a sexy X Factor one. I'll probably take some pictures of it later. Other side, of course, X Factor. So the board turns on. I sure God hope so. Oops, I didn't hold it down long enough. Nice board on all Egos. So that's it for the maintenance. Now, yeah, let's bring it out and do the conclusion. All right, guys. So now that I did the maintenance video and you guys got to see all that, you guys saw how just basically there's nothing that you really need to do to these guns. All you do is take out the bolt and wipe it down. There's really not a whole lot to do with these guns. That's the thing that people really like with these guns. So if you're looking for a gun that's very, very low maintenance, used market, I'm talking, if you want a very, very good used gun, this is a great used gun, okay? The reason why, they're like, you can get an Ego 11 with a dart bolt for like 450 bucks, maybe up to 500 if it's in like perfect condition. But I have seen darted Ego 11s going for about $400 to $500, which is a really, really good deal for what you get. This is, I can't complain there. It's a really nice shooting gun. You get a great board, you get a great bolt, and the other thing that I want to go into is that there's a lot of different bolts that you can interchange with this and different rammers. There's the Hush bolt. You have it comes with the Cure 4. If for some odd reason you want to put a Cure 3 or whatever, I mean, there's a lot of different aftermarket bolts and that kind of stuff. So you can definitely intermingle with bolts, I guess you can say. You can definitely change some things around, so you can sort of make it your own. You have an LPR, so you can adjust your LPR and tune it. Or if you're just a simple guy, just keep the stock bolt in it, keep it all at stock settings, and you have a great shooting gun. So that's why a lot of people really like the Egos. Is it the quietest and smoothest gun on the market? No, it's not the quietest, and nor it's not the smoothest gun on the market. But for $450, if you find one, it's gonna shoot pretty freaking amazing for you. It's gonna shoot really amazing, actually, like really, really good. So if you get something, if you're looking for something in the used market, that's something that's just very, very simple. You don't have to do much to it at all. All you do is just, you know, I showed you the maintenance video. There's not much to do with this. If you're looking for something like that, pick this up. Great board, great everything on this. This gun is sexy as hell. There's a lot of different color options out there for you guys, but I definitely suggest this, buying one used for the people that are looking for, maybe you also want massive efficiency. You can get that with the Ego 11. You can get some nice massive efficiency. I mean, not like G6R efficiency or Bob Long efficiency, but you're gonna get, we were averaging, I don't know, maybe 10, 11 pods on it. Maybe, I didn't really keep track. It felt like maybe 11 pods. I went out there and played 2 or 3 games, shooting maybe like 4 or 5 pods until I was down, really down, like really low on air with, I played like 2 games and shot 4 pods, and that was maybe down to like 1.5K. So that's actually really good, and if you tune it right, you can definitely get a little bit, you can get pretty good. You can get 12 to 13. I've seen people getting 13 on dart kits and that kind of stuff. So that's definitely possible. So you can get some really good efficiency on this. Even if you put a nicer barrel on it, that could improve your efficiency, that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of nice things that you can do with Ego 11s. So if you're looking to get one used, I highly suggest it. Pick it up. Does it shoot like an LV1? No, not really, but if you're looking at a new LV1 versus a used Ego 11, what's the better deal? I mean, $1,500 versus $450. I would definitely go with this gun if you don't have the money. So I hope that answers all the questions for the people that were wondering our thoughts on the Ego 11. So next, after this, a lot of people have been asking when the E-Tech 5 giveaway is coming out, all that good stuff. We are doing that next Sunday, so be prepared on Sunday for all you guys, for all you folk that want to know about the E-Tech 5 giveaway. So that's coming up next. I'm going to make that video like right before we smash eggs on our head, which is the video right after this. So thank you guys for watching. So hope that helps you guys out. Go send us videos to the community channel if you want to end up on our channel. So thanks. Peace.